everybody. Hi. And now for the most depressing point of the whole evening. So, a couple of things before I actually do this piece. I'm happy that I get to do this one again because I did it towards the beginning of the year when I was just in the beginnings of my first season as technical director at my theater. And I am now almost at the end of my first season. We opened our last show, well, 39 Steps. We opened that one in a couple weeks. Back in August, my father killed himself. And there were two services for him. There was one back in his hometown in Wisconsin, which I got to go to. And there was a second one that happened in Boston, which I could not attend because I was in tech. The eternal answer of the theater, I can't, it's technic. And the service that we had for him back in his hometown, my brother and I got up and we just sort of talked about my dad and everything. But for the one out in Boston, I wrote an actual eulogy for that one that I asked my brother to read since I couldn't be there. And so I am going to share this with all of you again. I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person today, but it was the opening weekend of my first show as the technical director of my theater, and I had to be there to make sure nothing went to hell during the shows. Having the job is a little bittersweet right now, to be honest, because the last conversation I had with Dad was calling to tell him I got this job. Shortly thereafter, he put up a Facebook status saying that it was a good week as he had just married one son and the other one got a salaried position in the field he went to school for, and in my field, those can be few and far between. I would like to point out that I did go back to find the status he posted to make sure I got that right, because he would have hated to be misquoted. I have to admit, I wasn't sure if Dad was proud of me and my choice to do theater, especially when I went to college. He told me at one point it would be a good idea to get a teaching certificate just so I had something else I could do. I politely ignored that idea because the best way to do what you want to do is not to have a backup plan. It wasn't until I got out of school and continued to work at my theater, in addition to getting freelance jobs at other theaters, that I really knew he was proud of me. My father was also a brilliant man. I think my brother and I were two of the only people who could keep up with him. He valued specificity and a carefully thought out argument or idea. He had a strong sense of justice and was very outspoken about his views about politics and religion, especially when people were obviously being idiots. He couldn't stand idiots, and neither can I, which is why I'm glad I don't work in customer service anymore. With that brilliance, though, came fragility, and ultimately that fragility was his downfall. I love my dad, and I miss him every day. He could be funny, he could be stern, he would make corny jokes, or give me incredibly deep insights into life, the universe, and everything. When you go home today, I would highly recommend looking at Monty Python's Always Look on the Bright Side of Life and giving it a listen. It's one of the more fitting tributes to him I can think of. Other things you can do in memory of my father: walk around naked, vote Democrat, and make a corny joke. And I will actually add in this right now, one that I told earlier that he told me years ago. Why is life like a penis? Because when it's soft, you can't beat it, and when it's hard, you're fucked. I'll also leave you with one that my father seemed to take a shine to more recently. Time to do what the shepherd did when it started to rain. Get the flock out of here. I